Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about one of the most dramatic and strategically significant events to emerge from the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war, a covert operation that shocked both military experts and analysts across the world. Ukrainian forces reportedly planted explosive mines on a key Russian railway line, leading to a massive explosion that flipped a train carrying thousands of tons of diesel fuel. The aftermath of this event revealed not only the destructive power of such sabotage operations, but also Ukraine's growing intelligence and precision strike capabilities. The operation symbolizes how the modern battlefield has evolved from direct confrontations into psychological and economic warfare, aimed at crippling the enemy's supply and morale. The operation began deep inside Russian territory, far away from the front lines where trains loaded with fuel and ammunition traveled daily to supply the Russian military. This particular railway route was vital, connecting energy depots and bases supporting the invasion effort. According to reports, Ukrainian special units or local resistance forces with access to intelligence carefully monitored the train's movement over several days. They tracked its schedule, identified the cargo, and understood the security patrol routines. When the opportunity arrived, they planted mines along the railway, targeting the section that would cause the maximum impact. The mines were expertly positioned to trigger beneath the train's central fuel tankers. Once the train passed over the explosives, the first detonation created a shockwave that flipped multiple cars and ruptured tanks full of diesel, which instantly ignited into a massive inferno. The explosion was so powerful that it could be seen and heard from several kilometers away. Thick black smoke rose into the sky, forming a towering column that was visible even from satellite images. Local Russian authorities were quick to rush firefighters to the site, but the intensity of the blaze made containment almost impossible. For hours, the flames consumed tankers until nearly 1,000 tons of diesel had burned away. The destruction left behind was catastrophic. Mangled steel carriages lay scattered across the railway, twisted rails glistened under the heat, and the surrounding area was coated in oil and soot. The air was filled with the stench of burning fuel and melted metal. It was an industrial disaster and a strategic blow rolled into one. Behind the dramatic visuals was an operation executed with surgical precision. It's believed that Ukrainian operatives used a combination of reconnaissance drones and human intelligence to coordinate the timing of the attack. The level of detail suggests they knew exactly when and where to strike, avoiding civilian casualties while ensuring maximum destruction of Russian military fuel supplies. This kind of operation highlights Ukraine's transition from defensive tactics to high-level offensive strategies that target the very backbone of Russia's logistics rather than direct confrontation. Ukraine has focused on cutting off fuel routes, damaging storage facilities, and disrupting ammunition deliveries. Every liter of diesel destroyed is one less liter powering Russian tanks, trucks, and armored vehicles on the front line. The train derailment also exposed glaring weaknesses in Russia's internal security network. Despite heavy surveillance measures and constant monitoring of supply routes, the attackers managed to infiltrate deep into Russian territory and carry out the mission undetected. This demonstrates how difficult it is for Russia to secure thousands of kilometers of rail infrastructure that crisscrosses its vast territory. It also suggests that Ukraine or its allies have developed sophisticated intelligence channels within Russian borders, enabling them to plan such operations with insider knowledge. The aftermath of the explosion forced Russia to halt rail operations in the area, temporarily causing major logistical backlogs. The damage to the railway lines will take weeks, if not months, to fully repair, adding yet another layer of disruption to Russia's already strained war logistics. The immediate impact on Russia's energy supply chain was immense. The loss of 1,000 tons of diesel translates into millions of dollars in financial damage, but more importantly, it signifies a symbolic loss of control. The Russian military heavily depends on consistent fuel transport for maintaining its front-line momentum. Every destroyed tanker is a setback that ripples across multiple sectors of the war effort. With fuel shortages, vehicles remain idle, aircraft operations slow down, and supply deliveries get delayed. This single attack achieved what dozens of smaller Skirmishes might not have managed it hit Russia right, where it hurts most its ability to sustain prolonged warfare through reliable logistics and fuel mobility, while Ukraine has not officially confirmed responsibility for the attack. Various sources suggest that it aligns with previous patterns of covert operations carried out by Ukrainian special forces and partisans operating behind enemy lines. This is not the first time Ukraine has targeted critical energy infrastructure within Russia over the past few months. Several oil depots, fuel pipelines, and storage tanks have mysteriously caught fire under suspicious circumstances. What makes this particular attack stand out is the scale of destruction and the precision with which it was executed. It sends a clear message that no distance within Russia can guarantee safety from retaliation as long as the war continues. This shift from defending Ukrainian soil to hitting Russian assets deep inside their own territory marks a bold new phase in the conflict. The financial consequences of this operation extend far beyond the immediate destruction of fuel and railway assets. The repair costs, environmental cleanup, and economic disruptions could total tens of millions of dollars. The railway system is not only essential for military logistics, but also for the civilian economy. The explosion forced temporary rerouting of commercial cargo, leading to delays and losses for local industries. Analysts estimate that even a single day of halted rail traffic can cost Russia millions in trade disruptions. The attack thus operates on multiple levels: military, economic, and psychological, by destroying physical assets and undermining public confidence in internal security. Ukraine multiplies the effectiveness of each operation. From a strategic performance perspective, this operation was a masterstroke. It demonstrated a perfect combination of timing, intelligence, and precision. The attackers clearly had a deep understanding of their target environment. They exploited Russia's overconfidence in its internal security and used that weakness to execute a mission that delivered disproportionate results: the use of small-scale explosives to destroy massive fuel resources shows the efficiency of asymmetric warfare. Ukraine has consistently proven that it doesn't need vast military hardware to inflict heavy losses. Through creative and calculated strikes, it manages to keep Russia constantly on edge, forcing them to divert manpower and resources toward defending supply chains rather than advancing on the battlefield. What makes this incident especially impactful is the psychological dimension. Russian civilians and soldiers alike witness the vulnerability of their own territory. Seeing such an enormous fireball inside their borders undermines the illusion of control and invulnerability. For a nation that portrays itself as unshakable, such attacks deliver a powerful message. They bring the war closer to home. They remind everyone that despite Russia's size and resources, its infrastructure remains fragile. This contributes to rising internal anxiety and fatigue, which are key factors in long-term conflict outcomes. On the Ukrainian side, the operation serves as a morale boost, proving once again that determination and ingenuity can overcome limitations in hardware and numbers. It strengthens the narrative that Ukraine is capable of not only defending its homeland, but also taking the fight to the aggressor's doorstep. This narrative fuels national pride and reinforces international confidence and support from allied nations. Western countries observing such precision strikes see clear justification for continuing military and financial aid, as Ukraine demonstrates that it uses assistance efficiently and strategically. In analyzing the human aspect behind this event, one must consider the bravery and precision required for such missions. Operating deep behind enemy lines means working in total secrecy. Any error could result in capture or death. The operatives involved likely trained for months and executed the plan under extreme pressure. The success of this operation will undoubtedly inspire more missions of a similar nature, showing how unconventional tactics can yield conventional results in modern warfare. These are the silent battles fought not with large armies, but with intelligence, technology, and courage. As for the aftermath, Russia is expected to intensify railway security, deploying drones, sensors, and patrol units along major routes. But such countermeasures are costly and hard to maintain over long distances. Even if Russia increases protection around critical points, it cannot guarantee complete safety as long as Ukraine maintains the capability and will to strike unpredictably. Every additional ruble spent on defense further strains the Russian economy, compounding the long-term costs of the war. The chain reaction of financial loss and fear is precisely what Ukraine aims to achieve through such strikes. From an analytical standpoint, the success of this mission showcases how modern conflicts are no longer just about direct combat. They are about disrupting systems and destroying confidence. The rail network is a lifeline for Russian logistics. So attacking it doesn't just destroy property, it paralyzes momentum. 1,000 tons of fuel destroyed today could translate into thousands of tanks sitting idle weeks later. This indirect form of warfare is reshaping military doctrines worldwide, forcing nations to rethink how they protect critical infrastructure. The environmental damage of the explosion also cannot be overlooked. Burning diesel releases massive quantities of toxic smoke and chemicals into the air, which can contaminate nearby soil and water. This adds another layer of consequence that Russia will have to deal with beyond the immediate loss. Environmental recovery will take years and require significant funds, which further adds to the operation's strategic impact. Ultimately, this incident proves that in war, intelligence and precision can outweigh brute force. A small group of highly skilled individuals using well-placed explosives caused damage equal to that of a large-scale bombing raid. The destruction of 1,000 tons of diesel wasn't just an attack on physical resources, it was an attack on confidence, logistics, and sustainability for Russia. It was a reminder that no matter how strong an empire appears, every machine depends on its fuel, and every line can be cut for Ukraine. It was a victory of strategy over strength, and of cunning over complacency. As the war continues, these operations will likely increase in scale and frequency, each one a message that the old rules of warfare have changed forever. With each strike, Ukraine demonstrates adaptability, innovation, and a relentless will to fight against overwhelming odds. And as the world watches, it becomes increasingly clear that this conflict is as much about minds and methods as it is about weapons and territory. The railway explosion will go down in history as one of those pivotal moments when a single calculated act reshaped the momentum of a larger struggle. It is a story of destruction, yes, but also of defiance, intelligence, and the enduring power of precision in a world where every action sends ripples far beyond the battlefield.